Hi Libra, welcome to your energy reels. It's my pleasure to read for you per the usual. And you know the old spiel. You don't have to have any significant Libran placements for this video to be for you. In fact, it's kind of like a collective reading. And you don't have to be watching at the time that this video is made. If it resonates, then chances are it's for you. And if it doesn't resonate, I would invite you to, they're like, keep that? Okay. I would invite you to step back and then come back later after a few days and see what you feel about the information that's coming through. If you'd like to work more personally with me, you know exactly where to find me. And bada bing, bada boom. They're giving a shout out to Sweden, so that's for somebody. You may know who you are. God bless. I have an idea, but I don't know everybody who will watch this video over time. So just let's go with that. All right, so let's jump in. Guys, I just finished doing the Virgo reading, and I just finished doing the Virgo reading, and as soon as I started with this reading, Libra reading, the energy's completely changed. First of all, the guides are saying that the month of October is going to be significant for you guys, whoever it is that's watching this. Chances are this message is for you, but they're saying that the month of October is going to bring some surprises, they're saying, and some indelible markings. Usually when I think about something leaving an indelible mark, I get a little nervous because it just tends to always coincide with a negative situation. But I'm being told that that's not necessarily the case. And they're wringing their hands a little bit because it may look like the case on paper, but not necessarily translate to it being the case in reality. And for example, the example I'm getting is, for example, let's say that you are in a PhD program and you end up leaving the program before you graduate, maybe shortly before you graduate, because you know what, you just don't want to be there anymore. Fill in the blanks why. Now, on paper, it probably doesn't really look good. You just gave all this time, all this money, all of this effort into doing something, and now you're just gone. And you've ended this program that, you know, for all intents and purposes, everybody in the world would be like, oh my God. But what I'm getting is that it's going to be just what you need, 2 minutes and 24 seconds. It may take some time to see that. That's why it's not 2 minutes and 22 seconds. I just happen to see it at 2 minutes and 24 seconds. Still a bunch of twos to show you, but it may take some time for you to regroup, to come about, to, I guess, lift your spirits again and to feel like, oh, this was for the best. That makes it sound more somber of an idea than it probably really is. This is what I'm getting. So I don't really know how to translate this energy, but maybe you're going to be busy. You're going to be busy, so you're not going to be sitting in grief mode. That's what I'm trying to say. You're not going to be sitting in grief mode after something, after this, whatever this thing is, that doesn't look so good on paper, but is actually where you need to be. It's one of those things where you're just going to be like, okay, I'm just going to keep focusing on what I'm doing, and then you'll start to see, I don't know, 4 months later, it doesn't have to be, but that, oh, okay, well, this was the right move for me, and now I know why. I needed to get out of that environment altogether, 3 minutes, 33 seconds, in order to be able to see this and to perceive of this and to glean and to even acknowledge the value. Imagine living, here's an example, imagine living in a space with people or boarding somewhere at a house or boarding school or something. You're in an environment, and we fail to realize that energetically speaking, when you look into the energetic space of an environment, it's like things are connected, right? There's structures in that field. It's not just mist and all that. You tune in using your clairvoyant abilities, and you start to see energetic structures, just like you use your physical faculties to see the physical structures here. You're going to see stuff there, and then you'll be like, oh my God, there's a lot going on in here, right? So if you were to realize that, you would realize how saturated you are where you are, to the point that you can't even kind of see your way into another reality. So that's why sometimes we have to get shaken up and shaken out of something. 4 minutes and 44 seconds. Another quick example for those of you who may not, for those of you in the back, no, for those of you who may just enjoy another example. Psychologically speaking, you may not realize that if you live in a house where you've been abused, or certain things are in, pictures of your abuser are in the home, or things that trigger you from childhood are in the home, you may be like, oh, I don't care about that anymore. I'm not even registering any of this. It's not even a big deal. But your subconscious mind is. And on some level, it is affecting you. It is creating stress within your body, and definitely in your field, because everything's energy, and one thing triggers the next thing, and the vibrations. And so sometimes you don't realize that until you leave, and then let's say then you find your own place, and then you start to realize, oh my God, I'm completely at peace. And I couldn't see that I was actually under constant assault from the triggers that were in the field at where I was. And it's not that anyone was necessarily doing that. It's just that there were just things that were not conducive to my health and well-being. So this is that kind of scenario. So I'm getting that whatever this thing is later on is going to be a good move for you, but you won't be able to appreciate it until maybe a few months afterward. 2 months if you're being positive and really focusing on seeing what spirit has to provide for you and hook you up with. About 4 months maybe. 4 months is kind of long. 3 to 4 months, yeah, if you're hitting that molasses mode, God bless. Because we always forget that spirit drops little gifts and little fun things along the way. It's not like, oh, you have to do all this before you can experience that. No, it's like, hey, you're en route to getting to this point, but there are all sorts of things that will help you feel better, right, along the way. So it's not just like, oh, I'm feeling bad all the way until now. Okay. But also another thing that I heard, let me see. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. It was the first thing actually in that I heard. What was it? Guys, anyone remember? What was it? Oh God, I can't remember. Oh, can't remember. It's okay, guys. Don't worry about it. All right, so let's see. They said to keep these cards. Let's see what's here. But look at how they said to keep these cards. Remember earlier? And when I looked down, when they said that, this card was on top. And as I looked at it, I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense for the Libran energies that I was feeling. But now as I'm looking at all these other cards, I'm like, it no makes sense, right? And I realized that it's kind of a nod to what's going to be our situation, like I told you, or whoever this reading is for, like I told you later, where it's like, oh, it doesn't make sense what's happening, and then eventually it's going to be like, oh, it makes sense now. It makes sense now. And the key to that is that you'll just have to be out of the structural environment, whether that is a job, a home, a relationship, a situation, I want to say a scenario. I don't know. Those were all scenarios, right? But whatever it is, you're literally going to have to be physically and energetically out of that situation in order to have the awareness that you need. That's just how it works. Now let's look at the body here for a second. They're showing me the elbow for somebody, so that's going to be specific. So maybe somebody is experiencing something with their elbows, or with, excuse the words, but vomiting is what I'm getting as well. Somebody may be feeling a little sick and vomiting, and maybe pain in the elbows, or there's something with the elbow. I do want to ask you to be mindful and just to, get a health checkup, especially around the cardiac area. The heart area is something that they would like you to get on top of. And of course, this is not a cause for alarm, like get in there right now. No, because one thing I love about our teams and our guides is that they give us heads up before, when there's time. And that's why it's always very much a good idea to keep in contact with your trusted health providers, in addition to your trusted friendly local readers like me. Bing. But why? Because, information that needs to come to you can come through these channels, not just me and your other friendly local readers, but also your medical professionals that you trust and your spirit teams trust and want to work with. It can help if you stay in contact with people so that the messages can come through. And if you're just kicking it on your couch and not really, talking to anybody, and you're not even having a moment of prayer or silence to receive, then what are we doing? Now you're just in the wilderness with no connection, right? So what I'm saying is the guides, they said they gave that message already for the person with the elbow situation. I'm also seeing here, hold on, I'm going to look into this for a second. I'm also seeing here that they're saying a lot of people these days, generally speaking, are having gut health issues. Now, some of you may have issues that are undiagnosed because maybe you're like, oh, it just bothers me every now and then, or you're so used to kind of living with it that you're not paying attention to it and seeing it as warning signs for things that you should be looking into. Now, in particular, and I know it's a little bit not like gut health or whatever, but so much, but they're saying liver, kidney, your organs, things like that. Liver and kidney specifically, they mention. Well, of course, these are all having to do with your filtration and all sorts of stuff. But so they're saying that it's very, very important to pay attention to some of those things, but they're saying in particular that they're keeping an eye on some situations there for you. So please keep an ear out for when your guides are giving you information. Don't just go based off of what you hear on the news or in popular discourse, like, oh, I'm not allergic to lactose and I don't have these issues, so I can just go run amok up in this cheese and stuff. No, sometimes you may have something else that may be of concern and you're discounting it because you're just getting lost in those kinds of you're just like, oh, I don't have any known allergies, so I'm okay and there's nothing wrong here. When in fact you should be tuning into your body on a more regular basis. They're saying that what a lot of people could really use is a straight up detox, meaning get back down to zero. That's interesting. Why did I hear that? Get back down to prison guard. What is that all about? That's for somebody there. I don't know. But get back, and also like get back down to like prison, like nothing. Like anyway, we're gonna thank you guys. They're jumping in to kind of get certain people to pay attention, and which is fine because we're out here just trying to get the message out. But what I'm trying to say also is that go back to ground zero with your diet. Cut everything out for like a month and go as neutral as you can. But stay healthy and of course, staying with your healthy vegetables and stuff. And then start incorporating things one by one, seeing what changes in the body. Also, there are other things we can do. You can get hair analyses to take a look at what's going on with the minerals, the vitamins and minerals, and you can even do toxicology reports for yourself. There are ways to get in touch with what's going on in the body, and clearly they are showing us things about the body here. Another thing that they're saying is that they're seeing a lot of limited vision. This information is not necessarily referring to the vision of your physical sight, but they're referring to your clairvoyance. Sorry. Hello. your clairvoyance. And in fact, as they're saying that, they're showing me the occipital area, which corresponds to the back of your head, the lobe in the back of your head, right? Of your brain. And so there is a link there. So please, please, please really start to take better care of your health and to stay more in tune with these things, because there is a correlation between the physical body and the non-physical bodies within your energetic field, within your aura, within your human energy field, within your bio field, whatever you want to call it. There is a correlation, and you got to start somewhere, they're saying. Okay, we've got only about 20 seconds left, guys. Anything left? They're saying, of course, they always say this, wash the feet. Look at this. Wash your feet. And they're not saying because your feet are funky. They're saying because that's where a lot of the energetic stuff that is, needing to be discarded, it junks up in our field. So cleanse and clear. Okay. All right, guys. Check in with you later. Bye.